And I think we successfully demonstrated that. We're also here to prove that the royal waistcoat is not a suitable location for the Chinese embassy, security, and political reasons.
To the Communist Party of China. No, it's the wrong site, the wrong process, and as well for national security. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Worcestershire. He's the chair of the APPG in Hong Kong.
Thank you. Friends, we are involved in a global struggle between authoritarianism and those of us who believe in human rights and the dignity of the individual, between democrats and dictatorships. It's been taking place in the camps of Xinjiang, in the monasteries of Tibet. It's been taking place in the tower blocks of Hong Kong. But today we can see, here outside the Tower of London, it is here in the UK as well. The struggle is here. I am angry this week because this week has been a good week for the bad guys. I've spoken this week to human rights defenders from Tibet, to Democrats from Hong Kong, to dissidents from inside China, who have had their support withdrawn by Elon Musk, a man who's made billions doing business with the Chinese Communist Party, who's repaying those people who made him rich by removing support from them. And it comes at a time where human rights defenders and Democrats all over the world are in retreat, at a time when we hear people who talk about themselves as realists, I call them defeatists, who say to us that a foreign policy based on values is something of the past, that now foreign policy is about commercial relationships, who say to us that it's naive to believe that human rights are universal, who say to us that China is now too powerful to be challenged. Are they right? Hell no. So, together, we are here today to say that that is not right. And whenever those voices of defeatism get into my head, whenever I feel doubtful, I get the time for that. Uyghur women raped repeatedly in the concentration camp, sterilized, tortured, who escaped and spoke out. She would have wanted to forget the things that happened to her, but she spoke out because she wanted to make sure that it didn't happen to others. I think a young man called Sona Ramendamchala, Tibetan, who when he was 8 years old, climbed over the Himalayas because he wanted to live somewhere where he had the freedom to believe whatever he wanted to believe. And I think of Jimmy Lai, someone who knew he risked everything, but still went back to Hong Kong to speak up for the values that we believe in. So when those people say that we can't fight that, when people say that we can't stand up to China, we need to take courage from those people, courage from the thousands of Hong Kongers who are chosen exile over compromising on their values. And with that courage, we need to say to China, if you want to open an embassy here, you need to close the camps in Xinjiang. If you want this to be released from planning, unfreeze the billions of pounds you've stolen from Hong Kongers and their savings. And if you want this country to be open to you, you need to open the doors of Jimmy Lai's prison cell and release him today. We need to take courage from those people and show Beijing that we will stand up to them. We need to show them who we are and show them that we are willing to take a fight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now I'm going to invite the Right Honourable Thompson MP, the Congregation of Westmoreland, Home Security Minister. Thank you.
My friends, we were told that this site was appropriate. All I can say to you now is look behind you. We demonstrated
demonstrated very clearly the first thing today. And the first thing is that the planning inspectors, the police, all those responsible for choosing need to see what they're asking us to put here. The next question we need to ask ourselves is why? Why are you all here? Why am I here? Why are we here? Why are we so interested in what could go on behind us? Because we know that when the Chinese Communist Party puts up walls, what goes on inside them is never in Britain's interest. We know that when the Chinese Communist Party closes doors, the only thing they trap is freedom. And we know, because many of you have lived it, many of you who are courageous Hong Kongers, courageous Tibetans and Uyghurs, who have explained your testimony 1,000 times, have been extremely clear that when the Chinese Communist Party brings its presence, fear comes close behind. Now we need to be very clear what we stand for. Because we know that even today, in the United Kingdom, around Europe and around the world, individuals are being threatened by the Chinese Communist Party here, at home. We know that courageous activists have been silenced, others have been followed, more have been intimidated. For crimes like journalism, crimes like freedom of thought, crimes that should never be crimes anywhere in the world. And here in the United Kingdom, we say no. And we don't say no to everything. We say yes. We say yes to the Hong Kongers who've made their lives here, who understand what freedom means and what society means. We say yes. We say yes to the freedom of Uyghurs to practice their faith, to practice their culture in a way that they feel at home. This is the United Kingdom, a country of freedom. Yeah! And we say yes to the Tibetans, who built monasteries, who've made homes, who've been part of our community and our society for many, many years. We say yes to them. And let's also be clear. We say yes to the courageous Chinese dissidents who fled from Beijing and Shanghai, who called out the truth in Wuhan, who studied in Ningbo and many, many other places. When you come here, you are safe here, you are free here, and we will not tolerate the CCP doing to you here what they try to do to you in China. Because let's be absolutely clear. This protest, it's not about bricks and mortar. This protest is not about our relationship to the Chinese people we're proud to call friends. This protest is about the CCP. It is about the spread of oppression and silence and fear. It is about the hatred that Xi Jinping and his Marxist nationalist ideology have spread in China, and we will not allow it to spread here in London. Thank you very much.
We have the Right Honourable Sir Ian Duncan-Smith MP for Chingford and Wicker Green, former leader of the Conservative Party, and also and I'm her chair. Ian,
I want to say, first of all, a thank you to all of you who have turned up from Scotland, the north of England, from London, all over the UK, to show that you are here because you stand for freedom. That is the point today. You have fled China because it does not, under the communist government, believe in freedom. This embassy here that they want would be a demonstration of how the British government sadly has given in to a communist government who believes in totalitarian measures and doesn't believe in freedom. By the way, those that might be making a noise at the back there, who stand with the Chinese Communist Party, you are not welcome here because we believe in freedom. What we don't need is an embassy here when 200 British citizens live on this site. What we don't need is an embassy here right next to the City of London and on a major arterial route to all of our commercial enterprise here and near the Tower Bridge. If they want an embassy, a super embassy, like the Americans, they should go south of the river. Find something there while they're at it. We are dealing with a government, in case the British government has forgotten it, that believes in genocide, slave labour, has invaded the South China Sea, now wants to invade Taiwan, and is bullying all the countries around the South China Sea. This is not a reasonable government. This is a government that bullies, threatens, and takes what it wants, regardless of what people want. Today, we also stand with Jimmy Lai, who is and all those in Hong Kong who have been arrested because they believe in democracy and free speech. So I'm going to end by saying simply this. We here today from Parliament are humbled by the bravery of so many of you who have fled your homes because you believe in the very things that we stand for here. Democracy, freedom, human rights, and the right to free speech. Long live freedom!
We're going to take a round of questions from the press. Sorry, because of the limitations of the setting, you will have to shout on top of the lungs for thanks. So if anyone has a question, please.
No. Press. We said no. Who supported? I know, yeah. Well, I went over there.
For 500 years, maybe even 1,000 years, money has been minted either in the tower behind you or in the Roman behind you, here in front of you. These two sites have been at the absolute heart of the British economy for 1,000 years. And now we think it's appropriate to hand over to the Chinese in case to review it. I think we have a very simple answer for Angela Rayner, and that is no.
Can I answer that? You have heard a local resident here asking what it means for the local area. For me, this is a borough with one of the highest proportion of Muslim residents in the whole of the UK. What was it? 40% really to say. This is an embassy from a government which is systematically trying to destroy Muslim people in Zimbabwe. It is demolishing mosques, it is bulldozing Muslim graveyards, it is forcing Uyghurs to eat pork, to drink alcohol, to eat during fast during Ramadan. It is a slap in the face of those Muslims to place this embassy at the heart of their community.
Well said, mate.
We'll take around 2 more questions and then we'll have to stop there. Thank you.
Let's be quite clear. We want to cooperate and trade with everyone. Of course we do. But that isn't concrete. It doesn't come to nothing. And sometimes, when you're looking at a continent and a free planet, or you're looking out of the batteries and solar panels made by slaves, the question is, how much blood are you willing to have on your hands for cheap goods? We fought against slavery in this country 200 years ago when we rejected sugar grown by slaves and plantations. We stand against it again today. We need to be clear. We want to trade. We want to cooperate, but not at any price.
Yeah, they had it all right.
Has been said to this embassy will become a spy base. Do you agree with that statement?
The question was, this area might become a spy base if it's taken over and become a super embassy for the Chinese government. The answer is, not my view, but that of the security services who objected to this being the embassy for the Chinese government. They were very clear. They said, no, the government is ignoring that plea. So the answer is, this is, no, really? No! Thank you. That's your answer.
So thank you very much for our members of holiday speakers. And we will now go on to a break, and then later we will have civil society members speaking on the stage. Thank you very much. Can you please make some space for the camera in front because they're wiring on the floor and it will be dangerous if it gets overly crowded here. So you can only keep a bit of distance if people around you. That'd be great. Thank you.
Everybody's very important announcement for the people who are over there in the direction of the Tower of London. The police will start issuing arrests unless you move over towards this area, the area which is to the left of the embassy building as you look at it. The police will start moving to arrest people in that area. Please follow the stewards and move over. Thank you.
We are the people too. We won't be silent. this group. And now we'd like to welcome our colleague from Stop Uyghur Genocide. Yeah.
Good afternoon, dear friends, and many thanks to the MPs who spoke so powerfully about this mega embassy, mega no. I believe that everyone should shout, mega embassy, mega no. 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 We stand here today in the heart of London to say no to the Chinese regime's plan to build its largest overseas embassy on British soil. This is not just about a building, it is about what it represents. The Chinese Communist Party is committing genocide against my people, the Uyghurs, and has no place establishing a vast headquarters of repression in our city. This is a regime that has turned my homeland, East Pakistan, into an open-air prison. A regime that uses the most sophisticated surveillance technology to control, round up, and criminalize an entire population. Millions of Uyghurs have been forcefully detained, families torn apart, and our culture systematically destroyed. The very same technology, facial recognition, AI-driven monitoring, and the data tracking used to control Uyghurs back home is now being deployed worldwide. Make no mistake, if this embassy is allowed to go ahead, it will not simply be a diplomatic hub, it will be a command center for transnational repression, monitoring, intimidating, and silencing those who dare to speak, including Uyghurs, Tibetans, Hong Kongers, and Chinese dissidents right here in the UK. The UK government must recognize the serious threat this poses. We have already seen the Chinese regime's agents harass, threaten, and even physically assault peaceful protesters on British soil. With this mega embassy, their ability to surveil, to harass, and manipulate will only grow stronger. We cannot allow London to become a base for Beijing's repression. And urge the UK government to take a stand. Do not grant approval for this embassy. Do not allow a genocidal regime to plant deeper roots in our democracy. We must protect the freedom and safety of those who have sought refuge here. The freedoms and safety of those who have sought refuge here. And we must send a clear message. The CCP's human rights abuses, its transnational repression, and its crimes against humanity have no place in Britain. We demand accountability. We demand justice. No to China's mega embassy. No to transnational repression. Thank you.
Thank you very much. efforts on stopping the mega Chinese embassy. However, the UK government still aims to make an agreement on this, neglecting the huge opposition from the residents in local communities and the safety of the dissidents. It is disheartening that the UK government brings out a more pro-China attitude these days. Shame! 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 The government claims that the closer collaboration on business and trade with China can massively improve the economy in the UK. Distressing that the UK government still has huge misunderstandings on the Chinese Communist Party after many examples of the CCP breaking their promise in other countries. The close tie between China and the UK might not bring in the profits as the UK wishes, but a subversion of the democratic system with more severe surveillance and transnational repression on people against the CCP. As Taiwan democracy, we fight for the recognition of Taiwan as a nation around the world and reject the sabotage of freedom and democracy. We care about the human rights issues in this country and across the world. We speak up for the backdrop, migrants, and minorities. We must keep ourselves safe. Thus, one of the things we will need to do now is to stop the mega Chinese embassy and resist the CCP.
they remain a place of safety, not surveillance. We demand that China's human rights abuses are not rewarded with a palace in the heart of lockdown. To the decision makers, listen carefully. This embassy will never be welcome here. To everyone standing here with us, know this: we're not alone. We're many. We're strong, and we will not back down. We will resist. We will fight, and we will be back.
有啊，叫佢嘅 Apple 係佢活躍咗大半年。
China vegans, and the next one will be the Tibetan community in Britain. From Tibetan community in Britain.
Yay!
Someone like touched today. Hello. Brothers and sisters, friends and allies from the Tibetan, Hong Kong, Uyghur and dissident communities, thank you. This year, on July 6th, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Rinpoche, turns 90. His Holiness the Dalai Lama is not just a religious leader, he is the heart of our struggle, the embodiment of our identity, and the symbol of Tibet's unbreakable spirit. Next month marks 66 years since His Holiness was forced to flee Tibet. Ever since, China has waged a relentless war against the Dalai Lama's legacy. Tibetans are imprisoned, tortured, and even killed simply for having a photo of His Holiness or uttering his name in prayer. Now Beijing wants to interfere in the future of Tibetan Buddhism by trying to control the reincarnation of the next Dalai Lama. The CCP wants to handpick a puppet, a so-called Dalai Lama, who will serve their political agenda. But let me be clear, only Tibetans and our spiritual leaders can determine the Dalai Lama's successor, not the Communist Party of China. And while they attack our faith, China is also tightening its grip on Tibet with more repression than ever before. Over 1 million Tibetan children have been forced into colonial boarding schools, where they're cut off from their families, language, and Buddhist traditions. A systematic attempt to erase our people from within. Tibetan monasteries are under siege. Monks and nuns arrested, temples demolished, all in the name of new dam projects, money over people's lives. A new wave of mass surveillance makes Tibet one of the most restricted places on earth. AI-driven facial recognition and police checkpoints at every corner, ensuring that we cannot see the real reality and suffering of our brothers and sisters inside. Tibet's environment exploited. Massive hydropower dam projects being pushed ahead, again, without say from the people who will be affected. And now China wants to bring this oppression to London. This so-called super embassy is not about diplomacy. It's an outpost of authoritarian control. It will be used for surveillance, intimidation, and transnational repression against Tibetans, Uyghurs, Hong Kongers, and Chinese dissidents in exile. To the British government, we say this: will you stand with Tibetans who have found refuge in this country? Will you stand for religious freedom, human rights, and democracy? Or will you allow the CCP to expand its repression onto more British soil? This year, as Tibetans mark 90 years of Rinpoche's extraordinary life, we reaffirm our commitment to his vision, a Tibet that is free, where our culture, religion, and identity can thrive. No to China's super embassy. No to CCP repression. No to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Free Hong Kong. Free Hong Kong. Free Uzbekistan. Free Pakistan. Pergi Dakpo. Pergi Dakpo. Pergi Dakpo. Long live His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Thank you.
Free Tibet! Free
shame on you!
CCP, shame on you! Okay, thank you, the group Tibet. Very energetic. And the next one will be our colleague from Freedom Card, Ukrainian activist. So we have Ukrainian today? Yes.
All together, we will win.
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 Down with CCP.
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 Good afternoon, my friends. I'd like to thank my friend Jay for inviting me here today and speak for our Ukrainian community. My name is Pavlo. I'm a representative of the Ukrainian community here in London. And Jay, he is the founder of Freedom Card, an organization that protects the rights of the people of Hong Kong. My friends, today the message is very simple. We must speak or else we will not be heard. We must act once we have the power to act. This building here, does it look like an embassy to you?
No!
It looks like a castle. It looks like a foothold. But the Chinese Communist Party will put its foot on the throat of the free people in this country, in this city, just like they have done it within China. We cannot allow that.
No!
But my friends, I'd like to make a little comparison. I'm certain many of you have heard about what the North Korean regime does with its embassies all over the world. They trade drugs and they have counterfeit notes. They have an almost perfect copy of the American dollar and they spread it around. Now, the North Koreans, they're in perpetual need of money. The CCP doesn't need money. They have a lot of money. They're plenty eager to send that money all over the world, to bribe people, and to spread their influence, and to make sure that that influence grows to the whole world. We cannot allow that. If the North Koreans were able to earn millions with their embassies, just think about the damage that the CCP can do with this large building behind me. Just think about it. It will be like a leech sucking out the blood from the eye of London here in the center of this great city. I mean, what's next? Why didn't they just ask to occupy the Tower of London or the Buckingham Palace? Maybe they'll want half of London next. No, my friends, this is jokes. This is not a serious demand from the CCP. They cannot be allowed to have this building. They cannot be allowed to spread their influence. And above all, my friends, I'd like to send you a very important message. As the ancient saying goes, the swing of a butterfly's wings on one side of the planet can cause a hurricane on the other side. Nowadays, that saying holds true more than ever before. We live in a global world where all the different countries are interconnected. And the problem on the other side of the planet can hit us hard if we do not act to prevent it from doing as such. Nowadays, the world is split once again between the free world and the enslaved world. And we need to stand with those who resist the enslaved world. We need to stand with the people of Hong Kong. We need to stand with the Uyghurs. We need to stand with the Tibetans. We need to stand with Taiwan, which is the next target of the CCP. And we need to stand with every single country and every single people who resist them. Right now, there is a war in Ukraine. We all know about it. But what many people do not know is that if Ukraine is lost, then China will inevitably invade Taiwan. Some people may say, what's the connection? It's very simple, my friends. If Russia, that is becoming a proxy state to China nowadays, is allowed to get away with their crimes, think
what the CCP, with all their power and influence worldwide, can do. They will immediately invade Taiwan if that is allowed to happen. So that is why we say no to this embassy. We say no to the CCP. And we say no to the enslaved world. All together, we will win. All together, we will win.
All together, we will win.
All together, we will win.
All together, we will win.
World, wake up!
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 Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, our Ukrainian comrades, our Ukrainian colleagues. Thank you, thank you. Okay, and the next one is the Assembly of Citizens Representatives in Hong Kong.
Glory to Ukraine! Glory to Ukraine! Stop immediate Putin! Stop Putin! Glory to Ukraine! My friend, several of us who are former councillors now reside in UK. For reasons I'm sure I don't need to expound further. But I remember, and we remember, when Hong Kong used to have, when we had certain degree of democracy, we as councillors, we were able to reject government proposal of different kinds. Once the council say no, the government has to follow. As simple as that. But of course, now democracy in Hong Kong is dead, long gone. Reason? Very simple. Because CCP is controlling Hong Kong. Now we don't want CCP to control anything any further, including this very place they call UK. There was Hong Kong when we had democracy. But now it's one-party rule by CCP. Now this very place is very place that the CCP proposed to build a mega embassy. Now it was turned down. It was turned down by local council. It was even turned down by the last government. It was turned down. But how come this government, the current government, say yes to it? How come? How can we tolerate such stupidity? Why Starmer, once he was in office, called Xi Jinping, called CCP, and the current Chancellor ran to kowtow in Beijing to CCP. She kowtow to CCP!
Shame on them.
This is unbearable. We are angry, and we deserve to be angry. Now, if China, if CCP has their way, we don't want to elaborate. We know what will happen here. This very place, one of the many reasons it was rejected, because not just a historical monument or whatever. This is a communication hub. If China, CCP, had this place, they can espionage, they can threaten the very security, financial security, national security of Britain, of UK. That's why no way we can allow CCP to build their mega embassy here. I say, why? And I ask why Starmer would let it go ahead. Now, the Chancellor came back from China with an empty promise from China of what? 600 million pounds, but over 5 years. This is pathetic, this is nothing. Down with CCP. And shame to this current government. We say no CCP magazine now. No CCP mega embassy ever. Never. 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 A final warning to this government. We are the people. We are the water. The water that bears the boat is the same boat that will swallow. It's the same water that will swallow the boat. Got it? We are the people. We are the water. We will swallow this boat if this very place is going to turn into a mega embassy of CCP. No way. 香港人加油！香港人如水，水能載舟，水能覆舟。香港人加油！
Okay, thank you. Our comrade from the Assembly of Citizens Representatives in Hong Kong. And then later we'll have the Bonham Tree Aid, and he's going to have made an important announcement for the volunteers, so please hear carefully.
唔好意思，用廣東話講。啱啱警察咧喺嗰度拉咗2個手足，所以可唔可以多啲香港人去嗰邊，去俾少少群眾壓力，佢哋唔好俾佢哋拉咗我哋嘅手足先。好聲走咗啦，走咗邊個走啦？好啦，咁我拉唔到 ，OK， 冇事啊 ，OK。有冇拉啊？冇事發生，我拉咗，冇事，冇拉到，冇事發生。應該出馬嚟啦。一樣有咩賣？Thank you for everyone coming。香港人加油！香港人加油！光復香港！自由香港！光復香港！自由香港！香港獨立！唯一出路！香港獨立！唯一出路！ Fight for freedom! Stand with Hong Kong! Fight for freedom! Stand with Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Uzbekistan! Free Uzbekistan! Free Taiwan! Free Taiwan! Free China! Free China! Good afternoon, everyone. Free Burma! Free Burma! Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thomas. I'm here today representing Bonham Tree Aid. Since 2019, over 1,900 political prisoners have been unjustly jailed in Hong Kong. We stand with them, providing monthly financial support to more than 300 of them. All those brave individuals on a monthly basis throughout their imprisonment terms. They are the victims of the regime that crush their own people and disregard basic human rights. Many of them are British national overseas as well. The UK government likes to talk about its foreign policy, the 3 C's, complete, challenge and cooperate. But what we can see is not competition, not challenge, but compromise. Compromise with a regime that has well-documented history of breaking promise and international treaties. The very fact that so many Hong Kongers are now in the UK thanks to the BNO visa scheme is a very big evidence that they broke the promise.
41 years ago, in 1984, the UK and China signed the Sino-British Joint Declaration without the consent of Hong Kongers. 28 years ago, in 1997, Hong Kongers were handed back to the dictatorship. And now, in 2024, the UK government seems willing to sell out its principle again for a few pieces of silver. Following the same visit to China by the Foreign Secretary and Chancellor, we heard whisper of 1 billion trade deal, a deal made at what cost? While our governments bow to the CCP for some financial gains, they have done next to nothing to help the British national overseas to retrieve their hard-earned MPF pension. Over 3 billion pounds illegally held by the Hong Kong government. And let's not forget the attempts to bypass the democratic process and interfere with the local council and police decision regarding this very embassy. The UK is a signatory to the Sino-British Joint Declaration. Instead of holding the CCP accountable for violating that treaty, by sanctioning the officials and judges who are destroying the Hong Kong's freedoms, our government is once again engaging with the devil responsible. This is not just a betrayal of Hong Kong, it is a betrayal of our own value. We sincerely hope the UK government will finally put its people first. Stop pleasing the foreign superpower for fair trade agreements built on broken promise. We demand that our government prioritize your own people, human rights, democracy and freedoms. First thing first, to end this ridiculous intervention of CCP's super embassy planning application. Thank you. Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Taiwan! Free Taiwan! Free Pakistan! Free Pakistan! Free Uganda! Free Uganda! Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks our comrade from Bonham 38. And next one will be the colleague from CFHK Foundation.
No CCP!
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 I'm Chloe Chen from the Committee for Freedom in Hong Kong Foundation, and I'm one of the 19 activists wanted by the Hong Kong authorities. Thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you. Why am I here today? Because as an activist with a bounty, I am terrified and I'm angry. This mega embassy is a threat. This is not just a building, it is an expansion of the Chinese Communist Party power in the UK soil. The current embassy is already a base for surveillance, espionage and intimidation. Now they want more space, more spies, more repression. This is a direct attack on all of us. Hong Kongers, Uyghur, Taiwanese, Tibetans and Chinese dissidents will not be safe. We know how the CCP operates. They harass us, they follow us, they silence us, and this will only get worse. This is about control, fear, and silencing voices right here in the UK. Remember what happened in Manchester? A Hong Kong protester was dragged into a Chinese consulate and beaten. It happened in broad daylight on British soil. The attackers walked away free. There were no real consequences. But that was just a small consulate. Now, imagine a mega embassy with even more personnel enjoying diplomatic protection. What will they do next? Who will they target? And will we be safe?
No! No!
Under Hong Kong national security law, fewer and fewer people could risk to fight for freedom in our homeland. This is why we, the overseas diaspora, have the obligation and responsibility to speak up for Hong Kongers who can't speak up for themselves.
Yeah!
But if this mega embassy is built, Beijing's network of spies will expand even further. They will have more resources to track us down. Many of us will live in constant fear, too afraid to speak, too afraid to live freely, because the CCP breach shows no borders. They intimidate us into silence. That is what they do, and that is what they have always done. We must resist.
Yeah!
We must resist.
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 We only have one demand today. No mega Chinese embassy.
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 Thank you.
Woo!
No Chinese embassy!
No Chinese embassy.
Okay, thanks our comrade from CFHK Foundation. And next one will be the Hong Kongers in Britain.
Thank you. 非常之感動。過去幾年，我哋喺前線，我哋見到越嚟越少嘅人出現，但係今日關鍵嘅時刻，我哋集會嘅人數，我相信係破千嘅，俾啲掌聲大家。記得2019初心不忘，大家加油！加油！另一件事，呢度嘅警方唔應該充當中國嘅警察，向我哋嘅手足進行逮捕。I have to say, the UK police here, no arrest for freedom, no arrest, chant with me, for freedom, no arrest for freedom, no arrest
For freedom.
no arrest
For freedom.
no arrest.
For freedom.
You are not Chinese police. We are here to stand against the authoritarian regimes to gain a more decent foothold here. We defend our UK democracy. We're not here to make trouble. So there's no legal ground for you to say we can keep people in order, to tell to the UK government to pay the red carpet to the authoritarian official from Beijing to move into this monument, to this glorified monument. Dictatorship, autocracy deserve no glorified monument on the British soil. Remember your job, your duty. The UK police serve the people, defend democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today because democracy, transparency, and the UK national security are at stake. The proposed relocation of the Chinese embassy to Tower Hamlets is not just a planning issue. It is a test of whether our government will stand firm on principle or surrender to the political convenience. For years, this plan has faced rightful scrutiny. In 2022, our local council, cross-party, rejected it. But rather respecting that decision, the Chinese authority have simply resubmit the same proposal, bypassing our local democracy and seeking approval from the UK government through the back door. Even more concerning,
Chinese state enterprise in the UK have been mobilized to manufacture support, drowning out the voices of our local residents here. What changed? Not the security concerns, not the integrity risk, only the political landscape. Under the Boris Johnson's Conservative government, this property was quietly brokered to Chinese authorities. But it was not until the new Labour government took power, after a top-level call with Xi Jinping, that we saw direct intervention. Letters giving the green light to the planning inspectorate were issued before the public inquiry even began. And now, the Metropolitan Police, once firmly opposed, has made a quiet U-turn. Had this become a political decision? Has this become a political decision overriding an impartial security assessment? This is not our party politics. Both Conservative and Labour governments have shown a pattern of backtracking. Raising serious questions. Are our leaders colluding with authoritarian regimes for short-term gain? Are they willing to trade our democratic values for diplomatic convenience? Xi Jinping's call must not dictate our British future. The proposed embassy is not just a diplomatic site. It is a statement of abusive power over human rights. A glorified monument for the CCP diplomat, rather than just a functional space. Diplomatic premises are for mutual respect, not excessive grandeur. Look at building like a castle, like a palace. What ridiculous overseeing the monarchy, the symbol of the monarchy, the Tower of London, right next to the City of London, colluding with the capitals, influencing our democracy here. These unelected CCP officials monopolize what is the state, but suppress the people's will. Next week, I will attend the Lunar New Year receptions at number 10 Downing Street again. If I have the chance to meet the new Prime Minister, I will raise this issue directly, confronting him. Then, on Tuesday, I will stand before the planning inspectorate to present the case against this deeply flawed and dangerous plan. We must not allow our leaders to turn a blind eye. We must not allow authoritarian influence to creep into our democracy. And we must hold our government, past, present, and future, accountable. Thank you! For freedom, no arrest! For freedom, no arrest! For freedom, no arrest! Thank you!
For freedom, no arrest! Thank you! Thanks are coming from Hong Kongers in Britain. And the next one will be the Hong Kong Democracy Council.
for the Beijing's long-term control. This super embassy is not just another diplomatic outpost. It is a symbol of the CCP's growing influence and its attempt to suppress dissidents beyond its border. We know their track records. I have, and we all have experienced this repression, not only back in our homeland, but also now on the British soil. Intimidation, surveillance, attack, and bounty hunt on us. This embassy will only embolden these efforts. Just 6 weeks ago, the Hong Kong government imposed $1 million Hong Kong dollars bounty on my head. This is not a threat to me, but this is an alert for Hong Kongers in the UK. We should not back down. And we will not back down. We are here to say no. We are here to say no to Beijing's creeping influence. No to a foreign government's dedicated terms in a democracy. No to a site that could become a mega hub of transnational repression. The Labour government should stop appeasing the CCP, should stop appeasing the Chinese government, and reject this plan of the super embassy. To my dearest friends from across movements, from the Uyghurs movement, from the Tibet movement, from Taiwanese dissidents. We are here in London, in exile, but we shall not be silenced. No CCP super Chinese embassy. Free Tibet. Free Pakistan. Free Hong Kong. Keep Taiwan free. Go for Hong Kong. Xin lỗi các bạn. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you, our comrade from Hong Kong Democracy Council. And the next one will be Hong Kong Watch.
Hong Kong! Free Tibet! Stop the Uyghur genocide! Save Myanmar! Slava Ukraini!